Today we'll talk about how having an information-intensive environment can enhance student vocabulary and contribute to a positive classroom climate and culture, as well as how oral language and an information-intensive environment can impact reading and writing development. An information-intensive environment is crucial for students to develop their vocabulary. That is maybe the most basic fact, that you need to be constantly exposing students both to new terms, but also to consolidate those terms through regular exposure in an intelligible way. An information-intensive environment can provide students with choice in terms of the materials they engage with, in terms of the technologies that are used, diversity of technologies and materials, and also provide materials with different subject matters and different levels of difficulty. By doing this, you make sure that there are materials that resonate with different students, that are appropriate to the level of different students, and this can foster a sense of belonging and engagement. The material should be neither too difficult nor too easy, but just challenging enough that they're constantly learning more and consolidating their existing knowledge. In the case of high school history, relevant materials can include primary documents such as newspaper articles, speeches, and diary entries, and secondary sources such as magazine articles or extracts from scholarly journals. It can also include other media such as historical audio recordings and educational videos. Material provided in the information-rich environment must be adequately scaffolded and introduced. You need to provide context, glossaries, and other resources that can make the content intelligible so that students are not lost, but are, again, able to constantly learn. Now, the point is not only to give students written materials, but also give them access to relevant databases or platforms where they themselves can explore and find relevant content. This can give them a sense that they're not just being spoon-fed material, but can actually be the motors of their own learning journey. The information environment can also be enriched through visuals throughout the classroom. For example, putting up on the walls maps, pictures of historical leaders, or infographics. This can serve as a constant reminder of what the class is about, give a sense of identity, of belonging, and a sense of familiarity, really, with the ideas that we're doing, that we're engaging with, and the people that we're engaging with are not just abstract, but are really among us. And this can give us a sense of being on a learning journey together. Now, when it comes to oral language and how an information-intensive environment impact reading and writing development, I would say that oral language is crucial to the internalization of vocabulary. So having the students themselves speaking and using the words in context repeatedly and having occasions to do so is really crucial for them to consolidate and to consolidate their learning, but also for the teacher to test the amount of learning and understanding that the students have. And if they can use the words orally appropriately, that means they will be ready to engage with those words in texts or to produce those words in written texts. Repetition is key in this. Oral exercises like debates, discussions, or role play provide a low stakes setting to practice the vocabulary they're learning, but also the complex syntax needed for historical arguments, and that can facilitate both later reading and writing. Finally, the information-intensive environment can enable students to read more and more complex texts, and it can give them, again, vocabulary to write more advanced texts, but also engagement with well-written documents, well-written articles, can give them models for their own writing. So modes of writing which might not be common in day-to-day speech will be encountered in written text, especially academic texts, and by familiarizing themselves with these, this can serve as inspiration for their own writing. So there are my thoughts on how an information-intensive environment and oral practice can be used in the classroom.